Yeah, I mean, I think transparency has been a hot topic for a while, and it's resurfaced a little bit. We've talked a lot about it these past couple of days. When we talk about transparency, there's different definitions, I guess, of transparency. So in my role, when I think of transparency, and the most common asks I get from buyers are going to be that content level, show level, genre transparency. So really enabling buyers to understand where their impression and where their ad actually ran. So very similar to, linear, right? You get pre-logs, you get post-logs, you know what show, what day part. So almost mimicking that. But the ask now is, can we get that information in real time through the bid stream? So at Fox, we want to support our buyers. We want to and give them the information and the data that they're requesting, because ultimately we want to make money. So if we are supporting them in that way, the hope is that they would spend more with Fox. I think with the real-time component of providing that level of granularity into the content and that transparency does pose some challenges for a programmer, especially a programmer where not all of our supply has a programmatic first strategy. So there is the idea of providing this show level data for the post campaign and for figuring out where your ad ran and where the impression served. I think the next evolution, and this is my fear as a programmer, is targeting off of that signal. We're now sending that signal, that show title, through the bid stream. It could and might eventually be targetable. And that's where we get into cherry picking. And again, we're not all our business is not completely programmatic first. So when we're trying to scale these large budgets or these upfront commitments, and there's the potential or the possibility of this cherry picking, that's a huge fear on our end, because we're not able to necessarily pace these campaigns. We're not able to manage and optimize our yield as effectively when you have that sort of that cherry picking going on. So that's a huge fear on our end. Another thing is the standardization of these signals, and we could provide the show level targeting in real time, but how is it actually being surfaced in the platforms and in the DSPs? Is it even standardized? I can tell you that we have multiple different tech stacks, and even something like genre is not going to be standardized across all of our different tech stacks. So that, I would imagine, would be very cumbersome for the DSP to aggregate, to standardize, and for the buyer. So we really look to work with our advertisers, and this happens in every upfront conversation. How do we provide that transparency and that level of detail in the means that they need it, in an easy format where it is all standardized, and also in a way where we as a programmer feel comfortable? So in the past, it's really been more about post-bid or post-campaign reporting, and we're happy to provide that. Less so about the real-time in the bid stream signals that are being sent. I think that as we start to see more holding companies and agencies lean into a more curated marketplace, right, like Group M, we have more confidence with where this information is going and what the advertiser and marketer is actually doing with that information, because we have that direct line to Group M or to another agency, so that we can have that conversation. So in that way, I do see it evolving a little bit more. Privacy and legal concerns aside, I think there is a possibility of us starting to send those types of content signals in real time through the bid stream. But again, it's not standardized right now. I don't think, technically speaking, it's able to be surfaced in every platform and every DSP. So we're moving that way by working directly with the brands and with the marketers.
Yeah, and please give us an idea. In Fox, you have a lot of media brands, a lot of platforms. What is the scope of what we're talking about here, as far as your different platforms and brands that you have?
I mean, fragmentation is another buzzword, right? And you see fragmentation even within one publisher. So speaking, from personal experience, we have 3 very different businesses with 3 very different business strategies and programmatic strategies on top of that. And I think that you can go to each network individually, and that is going to be a fragmented buy. We're working on making that entire process easier and more efficient for the buyer, and that's the whole idea of One Fox, and really bundling up all of our supply so that our buyers can reach our entire premium footprint with one deal ID or with a single point of contact. So really making that more efficient and effective, and allowing the buyers to reach that audience at scale against that premium footprint.